Most disappointing game of 2020. Marvel's Avengers.
Hello, San Francisco!
Thor, Tony, check it out.
At once. Try to keep up.
The Last of Us Part 2.
I really hope you make it.
Star Wars Squadrons.
I can't shake them! Giving engines full power!
Cyberpunk 2077.
V, you in there? My head. So what now?
Now, you find out what it is you need to do.
Watch Dogs Legion.
London is in a death spiral.
Move in and lock down the city.
Destruction is always the cure.
The city needs a resistance, and it starts with you.
And the winner is Marvel's Avengers. So look, I won't beat around the bush. Marvel's Avengers really was the most disappointing thing of this year to me. Now, I have 5 of them. I would say they are not all equal, okay? Something like Watch Dogs Legion. To be honest with you, my wife made these templates for the nominees, so I have to follow them. There's a template for 3, and there's a template for 5. I would say 4. The first 4 were all very, I felt strongly about. I was trying to think of a 5th game, some game out there that kind of disappointed me in some way. Watch Dogs was that 5th game. So this is not a hate video on any of these games. This is not a hate video on any of the communities that like this game. I think that a lot of people's answer with this would be one of 2 things. Actually, well, 3. I think Marvel's Avengers is, to a lot of people, their most disappointing game of the year. I think Cyberpunk would be the other one. I think The Last of Us Part 2 would be the other one. The more I think about The Last of Us Part 2, I'm not all that disappointed. I mean, yes, I was expecting something, transcendent, right? And we didn't get that. But I would say, besides a couple of the things that I do have major problems with that game, it was a truly spectacular thing in a lot of aspects. Cyberpunk, I think Cyberpunk's a little different because I wasn't expecting it to be the greatest thing of all time. So honestly, when we talk about the most disappointing, it's all about where you put your expectations. What did you expect versus what did the game give you? And for Cyberpunk, I didn't expect all that much, I think, compared to some other people. And the game, it didn't give me what I wanted. That's why it's on this list. But it wasn't the worst thing in the world. And again, I didn't set my expectations too high. Now, Marvel's Avengers is a little bit different. I didn't expect too much. Probably not the same as like Cyberpunk or The Last of Us or something like that. I didn't expect too much, but I did expect a fun game. A game that was going to, let me play as the Avengers, let me have fun, grind it out in a good way, but provide me like a solid month worth of excitement. And it did. It did in a way. I played a month of this game, but I stopped after that. And I would say the game was only fun in a way for the first week and a half. Once it was that grind to get Iron Man to level 50 and gear level, max everything, which I did. I maxed him out all the way, right? I feel like it's I need to say that just so people think maybe you didn't play the game. No, I played this game for 40, 50 hours within the first month. I know some people have probably played that now. I get some people have probably played hundreds of hours of the game now, but I factually did play this game a very, very long time when the game came out. It's just not good. Again, to not beat around the bush, I just flat out didn't like it. You could argue it's not a game for me. I would argue the things I have argued. I don't want to make too many people too mad, right? These are supposed to be kind of fun videos. This one is more of that negative. I like to throw this in. I think this is a fun thing. You'll never see this on Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, by the way, because this is a more negative thing that they would never talk about with the industry, right? So I think it's kind of unique to me. Too repetitive. This is not the Avengers game that I think anybody, even people that like it now, if I would have asked you 5 years ago what you want from an Avengers game, you would have never told me this is the game you wanted, ever. I would have told you, describe the game you want, and you would have never come close to this game. Why they decided to do a grinding RPG like looter kind of thing as their basis baffles me, okay? So I think that's kind of the main thing too. That's what I always that's what I think to when I think about this game is, all right, well, at the base level, it wasn't a disaster. I wouldn't say this game was awful. I wouldn't say I didn't have fun with this game. I did have fun. I did enjoy this game to some degree, but it just got boring real quick. It got annoying real quick. Remember, the first month, there was very little in this game, and I will hold that over the game, by the way, because if the game releases, and for the first month, there's not that much stuff, and then like 3 months later, it's more full. Yeah, you can talk about it as like a bounce back story, like Battlefront did that, Anthem is doing it, Fallout 76 is doing it. Like, you can give them credit, but at the same time, what about me? What about people that played this game? What about your people that bought it day one? What about them? Well, they played a much inferior product, and you have to take responsibility for that. So I would say that's part of the reason. And again, the other reason is like, this is not what I would want from an Avengers game. Avengers don't run down hallways. Avengers don't fight the same 4 enemies over and over again. Avengers don't have 5 minutes of loading screens. Now, some of those things can be fixed and some of those things can be altered, but it just wasn't nearly what it could have been. And even though I wasn't expecting, this was probably the game that I had the lowest expectations for out of the 5 games I put on this nominations list. I was very excited for Watch Dogs Legion. I was more excited for, I think, all 4 of the other games than Avengers. But Avengers was, I just think, the weakest or the biggest gap between, again, expectation versus what I got, and that's why it's here. Again, if you guys love the game, that's totally cool. That's why this next part is important. Let me know in the comments below what your most disappointing game is. It's probably, again, Avengers, Last of Us, or Cyberpunk. Maybe it's something else. Let me know what's the most disappointing game you played in 2020. This is not meant to attack anybody. This is not meant to like stir up emotions. This is my Game of the Year awards. I have a blast making these videos, and hopefully you guys are having a blast watching. We have, I believe, 2 more videos in these Game of the Year awards. Tomorrow's will be my most anticipated game of 2021, and then the next day, Monday, will be the final video in this series. Will be my Game of the Year for 2020. So I'm very excited for you guys to see both those videos. I've worked really, really hard on all of these videos. After that, we're going to talk about, we'll have some like top lists and like rankings for different things in 2020 as well as 2021. So we're going to do kind of a recap of the year and looking forward to next year. And that's coming to you guys right now, and that's coming to you guys over the coming weeks. Thank you so much for supporting this series. I truly do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.